Today we have a song for you enjoyed by people all around the world. Hi guys, it's Paul from Crowborough Guitar Tuition and welcome back to another video lesson. This week we are looking at the opening track from the Red Hot Chili Peppers' 1999 album Californication, and the song is Around the World. So some of you guys might remember getting this album, pressing play for the first time, and the first kind of opening notes just blasting out that bass, fuzzy bass sound, just kind of boom, straight through, and then that kind of roaring guitar of John Frusciante that told us the Chili Peppers were back with a new lineup and it was going to be great. So there's not a huge amount of parts to this song, but there are a few kind of tricky little bits which could get us in a bit of a tiz if we don't get our heads around it. So let's have a look at that opening section to start with. So that initial part, that kind of thundering sound at the beginning, is not played on the guitar. That's a bass part actually, which is a shame because it's a really nice part. But you could find tabs on the internet for how to play that if you wanted to emulate it. But the Frusciante's part kicks in partway through with that kind of bending going on there. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that we're using a pretty standard kind of bluesy kind of little kind of shape and riff there. So it starts, what we're going to do is we're going to use our first finger to bar at the 12th fret on the E and B strings. And we're going to use our third finger with our second finger behind it to do a bend at the 14th. So you know that kind of classic blues sound is that. And that's kind of what we're doing, but actually we're playing all those three notes together at the same time. We're bending upwards and we're hitting those 12s notes at the 12th fret too. Okay, now in terms of what he's doing strumming wise, he's bending upwards and he's really just strumming kind of in groups of three before he bends again. So you've got this, that kind of thing going on there, which feels a little bit odd because you're doing another bend. Your second bend comes on an up strum, so it feels a little bit unusual, and it's very quick as well. But as long as you get into it, you'll be absolutely fine. So you've got this kind of. The only thing it does slightly differently at the end of each kind of bar is it just goes into a kind of tremolo pick part. So you're basically just kind of bending and just going as quick as you can. Which can, to me, it feels very scrappy, but over a kind of track with the bass and the drums, it sounds great. So you've got these groups of three. So make sure that we're kind of bending, with our thumb on the neck here. We should have that thumb round there, not round the back. We're going to use our second finger to support that third finger. When we drop out of that, we drop into this little riff. And so all we're doing there is pretty simple, is, very first time it plays, it just starts on the 3, but most times it starts on an open string. So it's an open D, like that. And then we're just going between 3 and 5 using our first finger and fifth finger with some opens dropped in the middle. So you can hear that open in the middle. Open. So just use first and third finger, alternate pick back. Then we've got the chorus section. Now, this whole thing really is mostly just using our first and third fingers at the 8th and 10th frets, primarily on the D and the G string, but a couple of times on the A string as well. So if you stick to using 1 and 3, and then dropping this 4th for there's an 11th fret in there somewhere, you'll be absolutely fine. I'll try and go through it slowly for you so you can get a sense of the timing of it. So as I said, there are variations into other choruses and bits, which are all on the tab, so you can work those out and you can play with them a little bit. I imagine Frisanti is quite loose with it. The only other section we've got, really then, we do go back to that bending. For that middle section, there's a kind of breakdown with a half-time feel. You're really just doing the same thing you did in the intro though, so there's nothing new to do there. And then the final part of the song is that lovely outro section, which has got some nice chords going on. Now what we're going to do is we're coming up here, and we're really playing, we're doing a D minor here. So if you think of your normal D minor shape down here, like an open chord, we're taking that same shape and we're just moving it up a whole octave. So we're doing the same shape, but 12 frets up. But we're going to use different fingers. So we're going to bar across all 4 strings, really, at the 12th fret with our first finger. And then we're going to use, you can bar. I mean, you don't really need to bar. You could just put your first finger up like that because it's not actually barring anything. I find it easiest just to lay it down. And then you're going to use a D minor shape. So you're going to have to use your 2nd, 3rd and 4th fingers to make the D minor. And you've got this section that kind of goes... and we kind of work through these chords. So we've got this D minor shape here. And then we're going to move up and we've got what is a type of A7. So we move our first finger up to the 14th fret. So we're going to bar across the 14th fret on the G and B strings. So G and D strings. We're going to use our 2nd finger and our 4th finger. So 15th fret on the E string, 17th fret on the B string. We're then going to move that up, our first finger up 1 fret. So it's barring across the 15th fret. And we're going to use our 4th finger at the 18th fret on the B string. And our 3rd finger at the 17th fret on the E string. I'll try and put these up on the screen. So they're slightly tricky shapes if you're not used to doing them and maybe not used to using that 4th finger so much. So just take it slow. Just go at a really slow pace and make the changes slowly and gradually build it up. Now there is a slight bit of variation which you'll see on the tab on that final chord. So we have this. So what we've got there is this B flat type chord. And then our 4th finger is going up to the 20th fret. And I'm using my first finger back at the 15th on the G string. So we've got these 2 strings with the B string muted in between them. So what I would do is from that B flat, I would just lift up that first finger and plonk it down and move that 4th finger up. So it's a bit of a stretch. Although, because we're right at the top of the neck, it's not such a big stretch. It just looks like a lot of frets. And of course, you know, you're just trying to throw this little embellishment in on the top of this run, this progression as you do it. So, you know, as long as you get that 20th fret in and people hear that ring out, you're probably going to get the feel of the song. So it's a really nice little part. So there's some really lovely chords at the end. It's a really nice outro to the song. But so you've got that intro section which repeats for the middle. You've got the very simple verse riff that just goes round and round for the whole verse. You've got that chorus section which is kind of hard to pick out, but you can play around with it or just do the chords if you fancied. And then you've got this lovely outro section that we've just looked at. Apart from that, that is the whole song. So take that, go at it slowly, put it all together piece by piece, and before you know it, you'll have the whole song. So enjoy playing it. Thank you for watching. Do let me know any songs you want to do, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much. Hi guys, thanks for watching. For more guitar tips and video lessons, click on the subscribe button down below, and let me know in the comments what songs or video lessons you'd like to see. If you want to keep up with some of our news, you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, or you can always check out our website, crowboroughguitartuition.com.